Well, the next stage is to determine the method, and the way you do that is you start by finding all potentially applicable methods. That's the first phase. Now what you do is you take the class or interface that you obtained in the previous step and you start searching through it. And in the case of a simple invocation where the method is not locally declared or inherited, it's going to be the static imports that are searched, if you've got any. Now those methods, including those inherited from superclasses and super interfaces, which match all of these criteria down here, are called potentially applicable. Okay, so potentially applicable ones are those which have, well, for a start, the name's got to match, the method's got to be accessible from where it's called, of course, and not shadowed, and the number of arguments have got to be right. So if it's a fixed arity method and it's got n arguments, then the call's got to have n arguments. And if it's a variable arity method that you find, the call is allowed to have one less number of parameters or more. And that, of course, is because you could pass an array of length 0 to a variable arity parameter, effectively. There's also a generic requirement. If we come to do generics, we'll have to discuss that as well, which is basically to do with type parameters. I'll go into that when we deal with it. So at the end of all that lot, you get a whole bunch of potentially applicable methods that you're going to use in the next phase, and you've got to have at least one potentially applicable method or you get a compiler error. Okay, so you then take that whole bunch of potentially applicable methods and you pass it to the next phase.